Okay, guys, hopefully you will be able to hear us again. We are back with the racing. You can hear us, no issues at all. Sorry about that. We welcome to the world of live TV and internet-based apps that don't always work, but when they do, they're amazing, and when they don't, they cause us problems like this. So hopefully you can all hear us, and we are up and running once again. You can see Blankensteiner is currently out in front as well. So he is leading by about 3.4 seconds, with Hamlin in second, Sabo first, Smokey fourth, Southfield fifth, and Fleety in sixth place. So let's see how we get on with Wright and Bruder, Graf, Wells, Holder, and Velogia behind him there, rounding out your top 12. There was 13 cars. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Millington. He does look like he did stop out on the pace lap. Judging by my track map, he's still out sitting in Westfield, so should be quite interesting as we're just awaiting. There we go. So as far as I'm aware, I think from what I can see, Millington's out here somewhere, unless he's just completely disconnected and disappeared. But anyway, currently back up with the action. It's Southfield chasing down Fleety for fifth place currently at the moment as well. In front of them, you can see them, Sabo, Smoggy, Fleety in Southfield, Hamlin in second, and Blankensteiner is sitting now in first place, 3.7 second lead. It looks like everybody got through, Dan. I'm not entirely sure what the Millington situation is, but as I say, the track map showing he's still stuck out at Westfield Bend at the moment.
Yeah, well, it shows for me too. You know, it's maybe he's spun there. I don't think that's the case. Looking at well, the split times of the drivers, he isn't dropping back or anything. So it seems like he's just fine. It's just maybe a timing glitch for us. But so far, Blankensteiner doing well out in front. Something that I didn't expect from coming, of course, from P10 in the championship. But it seems like, well, the championship protagonists were at the front after the first round are already coming through.
Yeah, exactly, of course. It does look like disconnect for Millington there. We have a confirmation that Millington did disconnect. Oh, keep it out of the barrier, Jack. Great job there. Amazing save from Southfield as they go round at Pilgrim's Drop, coming down the right-hander of Hawthorne's Bend, and then onto the short, sharp Derek Minter straight before we go through Westfield. At the moment, you've got Fleety trying to break out a little bit, open up that little 1.4 second gap to a little bit further, and then we got Wright chasing down Southfield currently. That was a save from Southfield there, really.
Yeah, well, did well to hang on to the car. Florian Graf here, who we are on board with now, going through Sterling's. Tricky corner, this one, honestly, James. It's not one that, well, you can take easily the first time. It's one that you have to take the camber in. And if you're not really to the inside, to the apex, you're going to be left out to dry on the exit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. And Graf here looks like he's just getting, unfortunately, dropping back at the moment as well. So he looks like he could be left out, as we've got Daniel Bruder and Wright now. Southfield's opened up that little bit of a gap, that pocket gap that he needs coming into Druids currently at the moment. The difficult right-hander. No real line, an ideal line. Inside works, outside can work if you can hang it round there like an absolute superhero on this run down into of course, Graham Hill after that. But up on the run up into Surtees currently at the moment, and it is still Bruder in 8th, Wright in 7th, Southfield 6th, and then we've got Fleety, Sabo, Smoggy, Hamlin, and Blankensteiner 3.8 seconds out.
There we go, leader by about a point in the championship with a disconnect. Southfield at the moment, P2 in the championship, 1 point, like I said, behind Millington. He at the moment is in 6th, so he will go ahead of Josh Millington, which will mean, well, Josh Millington with a disconnect is going to have to fight. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back into the server to compete for race 2, which will pick up at least some points for him. But it's going to be important for him to maybe get back if he can. I don't know if it's possible though.
Yeah, Wells is into the pits as well currently at this moment in time. So unfortunately for Wells, he has put here that he is into the pits as well, and not a great evening either there. But let's see how it all pans out and see how this one works out as we're coming into the final 7 minutes of this race. Currently, nice little battle here with Sabo in 4th place, the 111 car battling away with, I believe that's Fleety, and Southfield's behind him trying to make a move as well. But his action all the way through here with Sabo, and he's putting on a stellar defence from Fleety behind him currently at the moment.
Fleety has to get past there, else he's going to be under attack from Southfield behind him. We know Southfield is quick. He's second in the championship for a reason. And Fleety is off. Is it now going to give Southfield the chance to overtake? Yes, it is. Southfield gets a free pass into P5. And he can now chase down Gonzalo and try and get up into P4. That was a free pass, really, for Southfield. Don't know what happened to Fleety. Looked like he just got a little bit oversteery on exit.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, he just got a little bit understeer, got on the grass, and then had to run down the grass, unfortunately. So Southfield's doing the same. He's getting a little bit loose at the same time here as well, while chasing down Gonzalo. Be interesting to see where Southfield's going to make the move. He knows he's faster. He knows he's going to have a good old go. So he's got to be looking at trying to make that move sooner rather than later. Whether or not he can get him down into Paddock Hill, that's going to be a question that only he will be able to answer. Is he going to be able to try it? He's taking the wider line. He's going to be looking at trying to cut back up the inside into Druids if he can get the run out. Currently at the moment, I don't believe he is. Here he goes. He's trying to get the run. He went out onto the gravel. Unfortunately, that hindered his progress. Maybe.
Oh, he's off.
Oh, Fleety's through.
He tried too hard. Did Southfield. And, well, just overcooked it going into turn 2. And, you know, it's easy to do. However, he is going to try and find his way back past into Surtees. Not quite, though. Fleety, we both know, James, is also very quick. Was in P2 in the qualifying, of course, because last week we didn't have a championship to go off in the first qualifying, was P2. And in race 2, also finished P3. So Fleety also has some decent pace in this car. So it's not going to be easy for Southfield to overtake Fleety if Fleety doesn't make another mistake.
Yeah, definitely as well. Ramsco Racing, Phil, Sim Racing Team ACC, you say. It looks weird. Maybe I shouldn't be paying attention. I'm not quite sure if that's the right way, but never mind. Onwards and upwards. Let's see how we get on. Southfield, Fleety and Kunsavo here, still battling away nicely currently at the moment in time for 4th, 5th and 6th place.
Well, this battle has been going on for, well, basically since the beginning of this race. So 15 or 10 minutes, excuse me, almost now. A bit more than that. And it's Fleety under attack once again from Southfield, who's now also going to look to the inside of Kunsabo. Can't make that pass, but he is going to make the pass on Fleety behind. Fleety got a bit out of shape on exit, and Southfield now going to go for another move on Kunsabo on the inside now of turn 2. Makes a double pass within 2 corners, and he is finally passed. We can say James is now unleashed to try and chase down Sir Smoggy ahead of him. That gap 2.1 seconds now, and it's going to be interesting to see if Fleety can now also make the pass on Kunsabo.
Yeah, the problem is at the moment is obviously Southfield's last lap time was a 1:26.572. Smokey's on a 1:25.7. So unless now Southfield can get his boots on, should we say, and his foot on that right-hand pedal, he's going to struggle to catch Smokey coming into under the last 4 minutes. So let's see how this one all pans out. Kunsabo here just unfortunately has lost 2 positions down the order into 6th place. Wright and Bruder and Graf are further back as well. It looks like 7, 8 and 9 could be an interesting one as well to see how that one pans out, but does look like it's going to be a tough evening of racing here for Southfield and Fleety. And I think from Fleety's point of view, you know, he's got to try and clear Southfield as soon as possible. Well,
Fleety really got the same pass that Southfield got a lap earlier, because Kunsabo got a massive snap coming out of Surtees onto Pilgrim's Drop and got a massive snap on exit. That's why, of course, Kunsabo lost that position immediately to Fleety. Was just able to hang on to it, did well to hang on to it, but it looks like Fleety in clean air is actually a bit quicker than Southfield. Also, of course, Slipstream helping him here. They might want to work together to try to catch up to Smoggy. Hamling, excuse me, is not too far ahead of that too. That gap is, well, about 4.4 seconds, so I completely misread that. That gap is quite big from Smoggy to Hamling. So I think most they can get from this race is a maximum of P3 if they ever going to get that, basically, James.
No, I think they're going to be too far back. Smoggy's no slouch, and he's not going to turn around and just be rolled over. You know, he's up the road there. We saw him at the top end of your shot currently at the moment, and he's not going to be basically slowing down just to allow him through. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. And if it's ever unheard of, oh, Fleety.
He's off. He's off.
No.
Ouch.
car is so difficult.
Yeah.
Such a difficult car here.
Well, especially through those three very quick and, of course, blight right-hander of Dingle Dell. Westfield Bend and Hawthorne Bend. Three very tricky corners on this track. Not in only this car, in every car basically, but this car without, of course, the aid of TC on it. It's very tricky as well. So, yeah, these drivers are going to have to try and make their way. Florian Graf just taps the back of Wright. Wright almost goes round. He's able to continue his way, hang on to the car, but Graf, not his finest moment there. Just braked a little bit too late, it seems like. Just overestimated where he had to brake. Also, Hamling has gone round, and like I said, Southfield now is up into P3. Gonzabo's got past, and well, it seems like Hamlin both off. So Smolgy has gone up into P2, and Blankensteiner now in P1 still.
Yeah, Blankenstein is still out in front currently at the moment as well. Car number 284 is Smokey, currently sitting in second place. Hamlin's all the way down into fifth, unfortunately. Blankensteiner is going to come round, and barring any major disasters round Sterling's, we'll be looking at taking this victory as he's coming off up through clearways now. Under the bridge he goes, and then round the Clark curve. And Blankensteiner should be taking what should be the white flag.
Yeah. Here we go. On the left-hand side, we should see a white flag. There's no one there, but I do think that the white flag will be there. Of course, 32 seconds. We are running lap times. Of course, last lap time for Blankensteiner was a 127.055. So lap times way shorter than those 32 seconds, about 3 times as much. And well, I do think that with that, the white flag will be out. Smolgy needs to keep it on the track for one more lap. So does Gonzabo. Hamling, though, is going to try and get Gonzabo for this last lap here.
Anybody that's further out than about half a second, he ain't going to get nowhere near him unless Gonzabo makes a major drama of the rest of this lap. I think he's just going to be too far back, unfortunately.
It's easily done, James, this evening. A lot of drivers having issue, it seems like.
Yeah, the car is probably adding to it as well. I know we lost a couple of drivers in the season just purely because of the car. It's the same. This car is not an easy car to drive, right? It never has been, and it never will be. It needs a certain kind of driver, one that may not be suited to others. And unfortunately, people can't get on with it, and that's the problem. And I think from there, it's just difficult all in all. We've got a leader coming round Sterling's, and then on up into clearways before he goes around Clark Curve for the final time this evening. Car number 284 is Smokey, is right behind him, but I think, well, he's not right behind him, he's about 4.2 seconds back at the moment. But it is going to be Blankensteiner. Should come across the line, take the checkered flag. There he is, the man is waving. And it is Blankensteiner in first, Smokey second, Southfield third. And then it's going to be Gonzabo, Hamling, Bruder, Wright, Graf, Fleety, Velocia, Hold Up, Wells, and now it looks like Millington has managed to get back into the server. And a big shout out to Chris Evans in YouTube chat as well. One day I might be able to drive a sports Beetle as well as this. I wonder, Chris, are you really Chris Evans? Do you really have a stock car of Ferraris and ginger hair and was on the radio a very, very long time ago? Let me know. I tell you, we're meeting all these celebrities. On Monday we had John Higgins in. Unfortunately, it turns out it wasn't the snooker player. He is, however, son of a former Legends World Champion, as in John Higgins Sr. There as Holder comes over the line. And then, of course, in another series, I got Gordon Ramsay. I did message Gordon, are you the chef? He turned around and said no. So, unfortunately, I've not met a celebrity doing sim racing yet. So maybe Chris is that one celebrity in that ginger-haired radio TV presenter that us old people will remember. And you young kitty cats probably won't. But that is the end of the race. Exactly. Race 1, Blankensteiner is in first place and takes the win. Smokey second, Southfield third, Gonzabo fourth, Hamlin fifth. Bruder is sixth, Wright in seventh, Graf eighth, Fleety ninth, Velocia down in 10th, Holder 11th, Wells in 12th, and of course Millington there down in 13th, only just managed to get back into the session. So there we go. For Josh Millington, it's going to be an interesting race too, and see how he gets on. He has got qualifying, so he probably could move up a little bit if he manages to get qualifying right.
Well, that's going to be an interesting thing now. Of course, qualifying coming up for you very shortly. And that's going to determine the grid for race number 2. Of course, race number 2 5 minutes longer than race number 1. Is 20 minutes on the clock for race number 2, if I'm correct, James. And that's going to make things a little bit more interesting. Also, qualifying. Last week we saw that it is just possible to go out, come back into the pit lane, and take a new set or a new set of fresh rubber, and well, go out there again, warm the tires up, and go around another time. Last week the lap was a bit longer, of course, at Silverstone. Now, I do think that with a shorter lap, it makes that even more possible.
Yeah, definitely as well. And I've just had my hopes dashed in YouTube there. Almost got the red hair, surrounded by other people's Ferraris, and seemed to be missing the couple of 100 million quid. So, unfortunately then, Chris, I'm taking that as a no, which is a shame. There might be one day, there might be a celebrity that you'll know from a name, and it will actually be that person. Not met any yet. Maybe one day. You know, we've got our very own producer, Kieran Sharp here. Kieran's a celebrity in his own right, I suppose, technically. He was racing in the Clio Cup the other day. So I suppose I did meet one celebrity. You know, hey-ho, got to start somewhere. So,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. Might happen. I'm sure I'll hear from Kieran after this. He'll tell me I'm definitely not a celebrity. But, you know, hey, shh, pick him up a little bit. He's in the background fighting fires earlier on like a mad fireman in a blazing inferno building of the world of OBS. So, you know, give him props. He's done an absolutely stellar job here getting this on currently at the moment. There's nothing worse than technical issues while you're on live TV. And trust me, they come at the most inappropriate times ever. Normally, as soon as you press the go live button, that's what I find it. That's what I find out.
Well, you know what it is, James? That's usually when you find out there is a problem. Before that, you don't really know there is a problem. And when you press the go live button, you normally find out or find out that there is a problem. So
no, because that's not true, because, you know, things were working. You know, things were all working correctly. And then you press go live and poor old Kieran was like,
oh, sorry for the headphone users.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working. But he's managed to do it. Absolutely stellar job from Kieran, fighting in the background there as well. A wonderful producer this evening as well. So don't forget, guys, if you do want to get yourself involved in any of what is happening currently on the JPB YouTube channel or on TSRC, all the links are down in the description below as well. Okay, so TSRC Discord, their website, SimGrid, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, JBB's down there, I'm down there, Dan's down there, we're all down there. It's a full list of links. What more can you ask for? You can find us somewhere on some social media platform, and just hit us up as well. Oh, don't forget, give the video a big old thumbs up. That'd be amazing. As I say, we did break 800 subscribers this week, Dan, which is incredible.
That's incredible. Now, what I do find incredible is always our lovely Phil in chat. He says, "You're a legend in your own right, James, and Dan is a legend in his own mind." There we go. Phil here. It's Tuesday evening again. Or Tuesday.
No, it's definitely. See, he doesn't even know what day he's on. What day are you on, Dan?
We're on Thursday, if I'm correct today.
No, you're not. You're not even correct on that. It's only Wednesday.
I know, James, it is.
It's Wednesday. Oh, my blimey. It's all gone wrong up here in the booth, I tell you that much. All this kerfuffle earlier on has got us shaking off our boots up here. Go on.
Last week, it was Megan's Beckett's Chapel that I completely had a blackout on. Didn't know which corner it was anymore. But yeah, today it's the day that we're at. You know, it's,
yeah, well, why would you know what day you're on? You know, you only wake up in the morning and pick a new one. You know what I mean? It's not like you're on a Groundhog Day where it's just going over and over and over and over and over again. I got to be honest, you know, it is. I promise you, the days are revolving, unfortunately. So you are now currently on. Right, anyway, enough waffle from us up here in the booth, killing the time between the sessions. We have just gone into qualifying. 15 minutes of qualifying will set the grid for race 2. Now, it's good to see Blankenstein out there as well. It's great to see Millington back in the session as well, so hopefully he'll be able to get some nice little points there as well. You can't get the staff now. I know, Phil. I know. Some say that to me, to be fair. So, you know, take it both ways. Got to have it always. But let's see how this one pans out here in quali. 15 minutes, 30 minutes remaining. They're all on their outlaps. No times will come in just about yet. We'll get a first time round about 11 and a half minutes, I would have thought. And then we'll see where everybody is going to pan out and how it's going to sit down on the grid. So this should be an interesting one. Who are you picking for qualifying, Dan? And you can only have one.
Oh, can only have one. Now, I'm going with Josh Millington. Josh Millington is going to be in the pole position for race number 2. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, that's not a bad guess, that, you know, especially if he's missed race 1. He's going to come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Is Millington as well. Oh, man. I'm going to go Southfield, I think.
I mean, if I had to go for another shot, apart from
No,
Millington,
you only get one.
You know, it's
No, you only get one.
No, yeah, I know.
No, it's just the one. It doesn't matter. It's not a point. Nobody's saying who you would go for. Phil's gone for Smokey. So there we go. Nice little bit of interaction in chat from Phil. Let us know if you are here, who you think's going to be on pole. You've seen the speed of the drivers. Smokey, Millington, Fleety, Sabo, Vologia, Southfield. They're all quick. And of course, your race 1 winner, Blankensteiner, as well. I've got to be honest, right? I wasn't expecting him to maintain that position up front. He did an absolutely stellar job, and he went on to win quite comfortably. Well, he had about less than a second, but he still went on and won. And it could be a bit of a dark horse for race 2, you know.
You know, it's I don't know. The pace here this evening seems to be a lot different than it was last time round, James, because we saw, of course, Sam Fleety too. He was in P3 last time round in race 2. I don't think that Sam Fleety quite has the pace to replicate that. He's close. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna have to see what the matter is gonna be here in qualifying. But looking at race 1, it's gonna be difficult, at least for him. It's not gonna be as easy as it was last week.
No, nothing's going to be easy, is it? Let's be real. You know, nobody's going to roll over and say, off you go, son. You know, take it as much as you want. Smokey's got pole currently on the middle at the minute on a 125, 4.52 there, so that's going to be an interesting one. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be even more interesting to see whether or not Millington's going to come back and be driving angry, right? He's got to be upset from his disconnect in race 1. That's without a shadow of a doubt. The difference is how he's going to come back from that. Does he come in and be like the raging bull in the China shop where he just knocks everybody off track? Or is he going to come in nice, calm and collective and think, well, actually, I need to get as many points as I can here?
Looking at the championship, I think he will be doing that, James. However...
Which one, Dan?
Well, just going for the points and like pushing like a madman, because we have seen that this evening, for sure, these cars have been really tricky to handle, James. And I don't know, pushing very hard, and usually when you're mad because of something, because of a driver or a disconnect, or because of something that happens during the race, or just mad with your own driving that you're not quite there where you want to be, driving aggressively and angry is never ever really a good idea, especially not in a racing situation. And you tend to kind of overdrive the car a bit. And you and me both know that when you are overdriving, you're wasting potential from the car and from yourself too.
Yeah, I don't know much about driving. I don't do it often enough.
Oh well, I mean, we both did our 12 hours of Sebring, so we have some experience.
We do. Yeah, then we're going to go on to the 24-hour Nords. That should be exciting. Not going to lie on that one. I would say I was looking forward to that, but 24 hours in Nordschleife does not get me excited. However, I have said I will, so you may see me for a few hours driving around Nords, which could be, well, the problem is I know the track really well, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm very speedy around it. But let's just see how it pans out. You don't have to
be quick around that track. That's your only luck there.
Oh, mate, in 24 hours around Nords, you just got to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody somewhere will kill themselves something in some part of the barrier, without a shadow of a doubt. Whether it's going up around the carousel, somebody's going to pop out and hit the wall, or run down a dot and hoe where people try and zigzag all over the road like they're knitting in the jumper and not actually paying attention to what they're doing. Oh, there's going to be death galore. You can start at the back of the grid and probably finish in the top 3 by the end of it.
For sure.
I mean?
Now, I do know that people on ACC have been asking for the Nordschleife for a long, long time. Now, as far as I know, with the licenses that ACC has with the Intercontinental GT Championship and just, you know, the Intercontinental GT Series in a whole, it's not going to happen because that track is not on their calendar. But it would be nice to have it in here with how realistic and how good the GT racing is in here.
Yeah, I get amused by all of this. I really cannot worked this out that they somehow seem to think that letting one sim have one and then not the other sim not have
Yeah.
it just does not make any sense to me. You're a track in Germany, the world famous Green Hell. Just let everybody have a go, innit? You know
But
what
I
I
think
mean?
it's not the
It's
track,
just
it's like the series.
ridiculous.
The series that this is made for. This is a game, of course,
So
made
what?
for a simulator made for.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
I
I'm sure
very
I heard the
quickly
D word
realized the
there.
mistake I made. It's a
Good,
simulator
well done.
made for the World GT Championship, the American, the Intercontinental, the Asian, I think it's called, the Asian Continental GT Championship, if I'm correct. So these three, that's basically what this game is made for, and these series
This
do not
what?
run on the track. That's
Oh,
the issue.
Too many times. Too many times within 2 minutes he called it a game. I don't know. Definitely can't get it here as well. But back to qualify, we've got Hamlin sitting on pole on a 125.235. The dark horse that none of us picked. Smogie's in second on a 125.257. Millington third on a 125.420. And Southfield 125.480. Fleety on a 125.490. So barely a second. 120, barely a second between the first guy of a 125.235 and also Consabo down on a 126.032. So there we go. All in all, it's going to be a very tight qualifying here as we come into the last 6.5 minutes. Let us know if you are in chat, what is your favourite track? And go from there. Let us know what is your favourite track. For me, it's all day in Lagos, without a shadow of a doubt. I love Lagos. The way it just flows and drives is incredible. So, yeah, Interlagos for me, Dan. What's your favourite circuit?
A difficult one. Zolder, because it's so close to me, and I know every inch, every millimeter of that track. I know.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we can get our very own Mr. Sharp in the background. Maybe he can type and tell us what his favourite track is as well, so all three of us can get a little bit of a convo going. Let us know in chat if you are here what you feel your favourite track is. Phil's put Donington full track. Okay, I can cope with that choice. You know what I mean?
All great tracks, honestly. Like just like this one where we're on today. In my eyes, all legendary tracks and like amazing tracks to race on. At the moment, though, James, something that we both didn't have is Hamlin on the pole.
Yeah, none of us picked him.
No, Millington and Southfield are quite a bit off in racing terms, about 2/10 in the same car.
Oh, there we go. Watkins Glen for our very own Mr. Sharp in the background. It's going to be interesting to see here whether or not Hamlin can hold this. If he's just found an exert of pace, which is quite amazing, really, that he'll manage to keep this one, especially with the likes of Smogey and Millington and Southfield behind him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on here. You are right what you said there, Dan, but I don't know if other people see it as that, to be fair. But then again, I suppose in a way, is ACC listed is in a game category on Steam, or is it listed as a simulator?
Well, that I don't know. My knowledge doesn't go that far.
Oh.
But what I know is that iRacing says iRacing Simulator on it. And as far as I know, ACC just promotes ACC as the game for the Intercontinental, like I just said, for the GT series, basically. That's how it's branded, but it's close enough to simulator. And then in my eyes, the GT racing, because it gets so much attention in ACC, is a little bit more refined than it is in other simulators.
Maybe you might be right there. And let's see how this one pans out here for race 2. Cannot wait for this. I'm going to be interested to see how these old cars get off as well. Don't forget, we have got 20 minutes, guys, as well. A 20-minute race here for race 2. With obviously the grid set by this qualifying session that we are in currently at the moment. And Fleety has gone across the line. He's just taken pole on a 125.107.
That's to silence me, I think, James. I said at the beginning, I don't think he quite has the pace to catch up to the top 3 this evening. but he's showing us that that he definitely does, and that reverse grid just made it just that little bit more difficult for him, and he did not have the opportunity really to show his full potential because there was so much fighting going on. However, Fleety up into the pole, Smoggy now into second, improves his time, goes within 400ths of a second of Fleety, and that's a good improvement for him. Hamling at the moment dropped down to to third, excuse me. But all in all, still very, very close to that pole position. Millington and Southfield, let's see what they have installed for us. Southfield still, well, on the start of his new lap almost, well, halfway through almost, so it's not the start anymore, but, well, close enough at least. But he's going to show us what he has installed for us in this last, what, 2-3 laps he has?
Yeah, if that. We've only got 2.5 minutes on the clock. So it's about 2 minute 50 for a lap. So, for 2 laps. So we'll see how this one pans out here this evening. Don't forget, guys, we have got a lot coming up this week on the JPB YouTube channel. We've got the LSRL and the Sim Mobility coming up later on at 1:45 and 1:45, respectively. New Smyrna from Sim Mobility and the Hungaro Ring in the LSRL F1. And then, of course, we've got the Radical Race Series that is taking place from Sebring this week. So stay tuned for that one tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, you've got a selection of 2 that you're going to be happening there as well, with the PCUP Americas and also the Triple Bypass Gen 4 from Iowa Speedway. So stay tuned for that one. They're going to be going out roughly round about the same time, about 1:15, I think it is, on 1:45 in the morning. So a lot of action this week, and that only takes you to Thursday night, without the SRL final round of the TCRs on Friday evening. And don't forget, we've got the PEC 6 hours with the VWSC as well. And then on Sunday, we've got the PCUP Round 3, the European, and then we've got the Radical Sim Racing Endurance 90-minute event on Sunday with the IGP Round 3 coming up as well on Sunday. We had 59 cars last week rushing around Motorsports. Let's see how many we'll get around the Hockenheim ring. So let's see how we get on here. But first, we have got the race 2 of the TSRC PCUP Season 1 live from Brands Hatch with myself, James Parfitt, and Dan Pepels in the booth. And a big shout out to Kieran Sharp in the background, who is the man on the cams currently at this moment in time. 34 seconds left of qualifying. Fleety still in first, Smoggy second, Hamling third, Southfield's third, Hamling fourth, Millington is fifth. Okay, so the fast guys are where they needed to be at the front. They're probably just not in the order we thought they were going to be, Dan.
No, well, Fleety is doing well. I did not expect him to be up there, but he said, well, Dan, I'm going to show you that you're completely wrong with that Sir Smoggy across the line. Can he improve on his last lap time? Sector time-wise, doesn't look
Southfield's got pole! Oh, Southfield's got pole! 125.042! My boy! Jack Southfield took pole at the death. Sorry, Dan, I probably just deafed you. But he has to take a pole position on a 125.042. Stellar lap from Jack. Thank you. Well, it's not over. It's not over yet, mate. I'm just, never know what might happen, but I just got that one right. One up. Thanks. Cheers, boss.
There we go. James giving himself a pat on the back. He deserves it.
Hey.
Well there.
You know what I mean? I deserve it today. I feel I need to. I need it. So there we go here this evening. So looking forward to this one now, especially if Southfield stays on pole position.
Smoggy is going to do everything in his power to deny you from that, but that's a cut track, and he goes straight on, does not improve, and it seems like qualifying is over now. And, well, the grid is set for race number 2, James.
Yeah, Jack Southfield is in pole position there. Sam Fleety in second. Smoggy in third. Hamlin fourth. Millington fifth. Blankenstein sixth. Consabo seventh. Bruder eighth. Holder in ninth. Velogia down in 10th. Wright in 11th. Graff 12th. And Wells down in 13th place there. 5.5 seconds back. Ouch.
Millington is going to lose further points here, I think, to Southfield. Millington starting 5th, James. Southfield starting 1st. That's going to be massive for, well, who was coming into this round the championship leader after round number 1 with a disconnect in race 1. He's already lost that championship lead to Southfield, and he might well lose some further points to Southfield if Southfield is able to hang on to that first place in race number 2.
Phil, you can't search ACC. You've got to search Assetto Corsa, and then you'll have AC and AC and ACC will come up. But it's actually Assetto Corsa Competizione. And if you can't work that one out, just put Assetto Corsa, mate, and it will come up, which is ASSETTO. There we go. That's why you can't find ACC on Steam. It won't hold it like that. Just saying. You know what I mean?
All right. There we go.
Thanks.
James.
Yes.
Has made Phil spend some more money on some racing games.
And they're not games. Behave yourself. Racing real life driving experience simulators with top quality graphics, real life car mechanics, and rain in certain ones, and then rain that can never come in others. So, make it up as you go along. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Hey, it's on its way. But then again, I'm a little bit worried about that teaser, right? That will come out recently from the other simulator. Partly because of the fact that the time said 4:01. Now, I'm not being rude, right? Depending where you are, if you're an American, that's the 1st or the 4th. That happens to be April Fool's Day. I'd like to point that out. So there we go.
Oh, no. Oh, well. Yeah.
Can you imagine the backlash?
Yes.
Oh,
that.
Especially being that it's an American company and the dates are around the wrong way, and the time that they set on that little slider was 4:01. So if that is round the wrong way and it's the 1st or the 4th on April,
now hear me out. Hear me out. 4:01 is also going to be the start of the new season, though.
No, it's not.
Is it
the
not?
new season is not kicking off on the 1st of April or the 4th of January. Which way do you want to go?
I thought it was.
What, we're 12 weeks in already, are we?
No.
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 Oh, good, because I'm pretty sure that certain races we do in are only on like round 3 or 4. So the new season is going to go right out until about the week after the 22nd of May, Dan, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, yeah. Then I've been wrong with that. Excuse me for that, of course. And
how did you work out that?
Well, I just thought it was since I saw that message.
Oh, okay. Well, 4:01 is, as I say, if it's going back the other way and it's reversed because it's an American company with an American date format, it is the 1st of April, which is April Fool's Day.
All right, yeah.
So, you know, let's hope they don't, because the backlash is going to be huge. Huge. Humongous. Massive. Lots of grumpy people who will then get rain, and then the same grumpy people will moan about the fact that they've got rain because the rain is undrivable or something. I've not spent anything. I was looking where it was listed to prove Dan wrong. I tell you what, Phil is not loving you. I don't know, what have you done to him? Did you offend him in a previous broadcast when I weren't there?
No, as far as I know, I didn't. But now he's going to come around and tell you that I did, so don't know.
Well, there we go.
So you're going to trust that?
Hey, don't put me into it. Whatever's going on with your relationship with Phil, I'm not even getting involved. I don't want to know. I'm golden. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm still on this Christmas card list.
Well, he likes you, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. Likes me, doesn't lay down. Thanks, Phil. Love you too. Bye. Right.
There we go. Phil and James's relationship. Phil always tries to prove me wrong, giving me grief, as always. But we do like Phil, don't we?
Yeah, the bromance has got to start, you know what I mean? So let's see, as we're on this outlap here at this wonderful Brands Hatch full circuit, of course, it is not the Indy circuit, which we are visiting next week in the Clio Cup with 39 or 40 cars there racing round, as we did have for the media day last week at Alton Park, which was, I've got to admit, some of the best racing I've watched in a Clio for incredibly a long time. Florian Graf at the back, Southfield starts lining them up 2 by 2. It's like watching Noah's Ark animal queue on the way in to get out the flood, and Southfield is at the front there directing the animals in, and Fleety is one of these lions that is not going to let his prey get away right at the beginning. However, I would like to say you might want to start moving up with him, because as soon as Fleety comes off that corner, if you're going to leave him that amount of gap, I'll be very surprised that he hasn't gone. But there we go. Enjoys the sprint.
Got to wait till the green.
It's got to wait. So wrong. They should give him a restart zone, or tell them they can go at their earliest convenience. Because this is just bunching everybody up. This is just like a recipe for disaster. Did nobody watch Bottas in Formula 1 the other season, where he stacked everybody up and Grosjean stacked himself into everyone? But Southfield is out in front. He's going to lead us off round Paddock Hill Bend as well. Smokey's got to jump on Fleety as they're on their way up into Druid. Smokey on the left, Fleety on the right. Southfield's out in front. Millington's trying to follow Smokey around as well. Fleety's been pushed off wide. He's going to lose 2 positions on that run down into Sterling's. Is he going to lose a third as well? Blankensteiner wants to have a piece of what is happening there, and in front of him as well it is Hamlin. Can Hamlin make the move past Fleety? Is Fleety going to lose it any more? That positions that he already has done. Currently everybody through the first sector here, and nice and clean currently at the moment, and poor old Fleety lost 2 positions there.
Fleety not getting off that start well, did he, James? And he's lost a handful of positions there, not what he wanted. And yeah, like you said, he's already gone down to P4, started second, P4, almost at the end of the first lap. Now going to look to try and regain those positions come well, the rest of this race. Smoggy and Millington, however, going to do everything in their power to not let that happen. Also, Southfield is now only 1 position ahead of Millington, our previous championship leader. So that is going to be P1 and P2 in the championship, maybe fighting it out on track here this evening. But that's, of course, walking heads on the facts. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Blankenstein is side by side here. I think it's Blankenstein or Holder. I think it's there with Holder side by side. How are they going to come across the line? I'm expecting a position change. Let's see what happens. It is Blankensteiner is ahead of Holder, and he's going to be making his way forward. It looks like Blankensteiner's got a bit between the teeth, as there was a wide exit there on the right-hand side. There is on the gravel trap. Don't forget your bucket and spade while you're out there, son, because once you get in there, you ain't getting out there in a hurry. I'll tell you that much. So you've got to be very, very careful. Holder's got a slide on his back end. He's got too many beans in his left right foot, and he's just placed it down on that accelerator, and he got that run out of Druid sideways. So unfortunately for him, though, that has put traffic right behind him, which is right. Velogia here with Graf. Graf's trying to make the move past Velogia. Velogia's not had a great evening down, has he, so far?
No, he's again draw back, and well, see him here. I think Graf has also got past. No, he's not. At least he's in front of Graf still, so he's not completely lost. But yeah, at the moment, not the best evening for him. He's going to try and regain some positions that he has lost in that number 7. Bruder, however, up front, Dad is also very close to Wright, who's very close himself to Holder. That's an interesting fight as well to keep an eye on. Here it is. Here's that battle. He's right up front of Bruder. He's caught up now to the back of Holder ahead of him. Holder is going to have to watch out. He's going to go to the inside, is right. He's not going to make that mistake. That was a tricky one. However, the Holder's gone wide on the exit now of the last corner. It is coming out of Clark Curve. And, well, he's going to have to defend now.
No, if Wright's not careful here, he's going to be losing 2 places. And he has done. He's lost a 2nd place as well. Jason Wright got past as Holder, and Bruder has at the same time. And poor old James Holder finds himself down in 10th place currently. At the moment, Millington is having a battle. He's literally less than about a second away, or was less than a second away. Currently in a moment, there was contact with Graf. Graf and Velogia, there was contact. And Velogia looked like he went off and into the wall on the right-hand side on that exit of Graham Hill Bend. That little bit of contact will always cause you problems. Millington and Fleety here battling away. Nice. Millington and Smokey, Fleety behind him, of course. Southfield still out in front by 2.4 seconds. He's got basically another 16 minutes down. He's only got to just keep it on track, really.
Well, it's not a given. This race is longer than the first one. And we have seen, of course, last week that even a gap of 2 seconds, you can close it down in this race. It does give you the opportunity. If you get out in front or of that chasing pack really early, you are able to well, to maybe catch up. So, well, Southfield still has to try and keep his pace up, but it doesn't have to push anymore.
No, he can just nicely chill as long as he's got these people within the front of him, within behind him, within about that 2.3 second gap. He can probably manage it at the moment. Smokey's over about a half a second over Millington, with Fleety right behind him currently at the moment, and Hamlin behind that, as these guys are now into the last 15 minutes of this 20-minute race here at Brands Hatch GP Circuit This is Blankensteiner and Sabo battling away nicely for 6th and 7th place. Can Sabo hold off Blankensteiner, do you think? Because Blankensteiner did take the win in race 1.
Blankensteiner, of course, had that pole position also in race 1, due to the fact that it's a reversed top 10 from the championship. Now, Blankensteiner, one thing I do know, is not going to have the pole position next week, because he's been performing well here this evening, and he might well go up another position. Gonzalo was struggling the whole evening, really, with this car, so it's very possible for Blankensteiner to gain another position and go up into P6. Is doing well, has improved a lot since last week.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that pole position kind of put fire in his belly, and off he went and took the win there for Blankensteiner. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on here, whether or not he can be able to keep up the back of Gonzalo as well. 0.193 between these two currently at the moment. Bruder and Wright are even closer. Bruder's gone the wrong side. Unless you're going to try a Swifty cut back there, mate. You went that wrong side of him. And mind you, Holder didn't leave the door open, so I guess he didn't really have a choice here as well from Brands. Bruder trying to make the move past Wright, not going to get him down into turn 1. He's not going to get him on the run up into Druids unless something severely goes wrong. And then he's going to have to try and get round him down, obviously, the long back straight after Surtees down Pilgrim's Drop. So it's going to be a tough one for Bruder here to clear right in front. It's going to be interesting to see when that manages to get done.
Well, Smoggy is catching up to Southfield little by little too. And it's now Gonzalo who's dropped down to P7. I said it, Blankensteiner up into P6 now. He's been doing really well as Blankensteiner. Well, has gained another position here this evening. Next gap for him, 2.7 seconds to Hamling. That's going to be a difficult one though.
Yeah, I think from Blankensteiner's point of view, Sabo's not going to roll over and just be like, well, you know, I have the position, I'm going to come back at you. They were close anyway for the first 7 minutes of this race, and I'm expecting them to be close for the next 7, to be fair, because Sabo's no slouch. Yeah, he's obviously lost that position to Blankensteiner. Unfortunately, we didn't see how that one panned out. But I got a funny feeling Sabo's not going to give it up, though, Dan. I don't think he would just be like, yeah, go for it.
Well, why would he? He's still there. He's hanging with Blankensteiner. And if he can go for a move and try and regain that P6, I would, just like him, go for that with everything I had in the car. However, though, a little bit further back in the field, there's a fight for P8, 9, and 10. This is Wright, Bruder, and Graf who are fighting for these positions, or over these positions. It's Bruder who we're looking with in the number 18. Right ahead of him into turn number 2 now. Not quite able to do anything. He has to watch out. He's positioning himself very dangerously. He's run off track too. And now, I thought for a second he was going to run wide onto the grass. But into Graham Hill Bend, he managed to get it on track again. That has now, however, allowed, Graf up into P9. Chase down Wright. But it looked like Wright for a moment under attack from Bruder. Bruder, however, though, James, positioned himself wrong, I think, in my eyes, through the run, through Druids, to get him on the exit. Really want to have the inside there with the camber that corner has.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's what the thing is as well. You can tell we're obviously sitting here with a different simulator this evening, because in others, he wouldn't have stopped that car. Like, some grass is just like ice in other simulators. But here in ACC, obviously they managed to get it stopped, which was ideal for him, because otherwise that would have been a T-bone right into the car in front of him, or the car coming down beside him at the moment he was going off the grass. So this is going to be an interesting one here. For 11 minutes now remaining. Guys, let's sit back, get your popcorn and enjoy, as Millington is chasing down Smoggy with Southfield out in front by about 2.6 seconds. Southfield's got the fastest lap of the race on a 1:25, 1:10, Dan. An incredible lap time here tonight.
That's a really quick one. And, well, if I look at that lap time, that's also very close to what he did in qualifying. I think in qualifying, just a couple of hundredths of a second quicker, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely on that one as well. So Southfield absolutely flying. Going to be interested to see if he takes the victory. We're more than excited to see him take a victory. Often my boy, picked it for pole position now. At least I got it by.
Yeah, he did. And well done. He's lost 3/10 though, Smoggy did he last lap. So he was, well, at least keeping Southfield honest, saying, if you're not going to be able to hang back or else I'm going to catch up. Behind him though, Millington with his personal fastest lap last time round, a 125.257, so about 2/10 there for Millington. So he's now going to try and look to lose, well, the least amount of points possible, really, to Southfield, and tries to get up into P2. However, though, if he starts fighting, there's no chance for them anyways to catch up to Southfield. However, James, though, I think it's going to be difficult even if they don't fight.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think anybody's going to catch Southfield unless he makes a complete and utter hash of the next 9 minutes, and I don't think he's going to do that. He's too experienced for that, is Jack. However, Millington is just about to get through on Smokey there as well. Smokey made a mistake going out of Sterling's, and that is it. Millington is now up into second place. So Josh Millington making up for the fact that he didn't make race 1 due to a disconnect, and is now out in front of Sir Smokey. So pay attention. Let's see how this one goes on. From their point of view, though, I would have preferred them trying to run forward rather than battling each other, because as we know, when you start battling each other, the only way you're going to end up going there is backwards in the tyre barrier, or just not gaining any time whatsoever.
Well, those 3.2 seconds, I think, would be difficult to close up anyways for any of these drivers to Southfield. Southfield's quick last time round, only 2/10 slower than the quickest lap time of this race at 125.395. So very consistent for Southfield out at the front of the field, and I think that just battling over this position is the maximum they're going to get. I think more than expected in my eyes that Millington went for that move straight away. Also, Smokey made a mistake, and you can't really ask Millington to stick behind if Smokey makes a mistake, and he clearly has the overspeed to get past.
Well, you're never going to ask a racing driver to sit there and wait for somebody to come back on track. It's just
you
never
can ask
happen.
him. He's just never going to do it. That's the issue.
Well, yeah, this is also true. You can ask, but it doesn't mean it's ever going to be right. I've got to be honest. But let's see how it all works out here for Millington and Smokey. Southfield now is out in front by 2.736 of what clearly looks like an insurmountable amount of gap, to be fair, because I don't think anybody's going to be able to get past, near, or even remotely close to Jack Steelfield going into the final 7.5 minutes.
Well, we're going to see, like you said, 7.5 minutes left of this race, trying to see if they can do anything really. Jack Southfield has lost a couple of tenths, I think 5 tenths in the last sector to Millington. That gap back down to 2.7. Could Millington then try and mount an attack on Southfield? Here he is, Millington and Sir Smokey. Sir Smokey has also lost quite a lot of time to Millington. Is doing well. Millington is almost covering the lap times from Southfield, at least across the line. Is a 10th quicker once again than Southfield in that last sector. So doing really well is Millington, and he might well be able to catch up. However, time not on his side, James. And with only 7 minutes left, he needs to be gaining more than 1/10 a lap here.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think, again, being 6.5 minutes now left on the clock, Millington's going to be pulling in a near enough sort of a half a second to 3/4 of a second per lap. But never say never. I'm not going to say he's not, but at the same time, I'm finding it highly unlikely that he thinks he's going to be able to, especially with the pace of Jack Southfield, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he's also being kept honest by Smokey behind, so it's not like he can just push flat out without any risk, So there is still a risk of him losing a position if he does do so. But the gap down to 2.1 seconds, you can see it in the top left, was another 10th quicker in Sector 1. Well, and we're going to see what he's going to be able to do. And I think being able to catch up this quickly, it is enough. A second a lap, or a second every 2 lap would be enough. Half a second a lap would be enough for this race. But let's not hype it up before we actually really know if it's going to be enough. Sector 2, he lost a little bit to Southfield again. Let's see what he's going to be able to do down in sector number 3 across the line. And another 10th gain there in that sector. So Millington doing really well to try and catch up, is giving everything at least.
Yeah, I think that's what we really need from Josh Millington. It's just a full lump of beans here that he's going to be able to get going, because the last thing he wants to obviously do is lose any more time to Southfield. So he needs to stay as close to him as he possibly can And I think it's going to be important for Millington to keep putting his foot down and keep going and keep going and keep going, because obviously Southfield can see the gaps dropping down and see it on his relative and whatever other confusing, wonderful jargon that they have on their broadcast, that you might, you should be able to see it in general. So it's whether or not Josh Millington can catch up with him.
A lot of drivers now putting down personal best lap times. Hamling is one of them. Gonzalo also one of them. And Bruder is also one of them in P9. So a lot of drivers putting in personal best. Now, it seems like the track is quick. Also in last place, of course, in 12th, of course, he's out of the race. In 12th place, it is Vyacheslav Volodya, I think it was. Tried it.
How do you think you did?
Probably not so good.
Vyacheslav Volodya.
Vyacheslav Volodya. There we go.
Amazing. An Englishman translating a name for a Dutch person who generally gets, knows how to pronounce words. 4 minutes on the clock. Southfield out in first, Millington second, Smokey third, Fleeting fourth, and then Hamling is down currently in fifth place. Cars are spread out a bit. You can see it on your timing tower on the left-hand side there. I can also see a very weird-looking Hamlin. But let's see from Southfield's point of view, he's got the lead summed up literally more about 1.6 seconds. I think he's managing the gap down. I don't think he's pushing too hard. I think he's going to want to have tyres left towards the end of the race.
If that's going to be the case, then he's taking more risk than he needs to, really, here with letting Millington get close to him. If he gets within a second, he has the benefit of the slipstream, James. It's going to be so beneficial for Millington. Once he's within that second, I'm sure that he's within striking distance within one lap with the slipstream that he has. However, we are going to be seeing how it's going to play out. 1.6 seconds. He's giving it his everything, is Millington. He's driving like his life is depending on it. And definitely his championship chances are depending on it, because he might well lose points to Southfield for the second time this evening with a disconnect in race 1 and now being behind him in race number 2. So it's crucial really for Millington that he can get past Southfield if he's going to be able to get close enough.
He is not going to get past Southfield. 1.5 seconds gap, 2.5 minutes remaining. They're going to literally have this one and one more. There's no way he's getting past him. Not a chance. Just saying.
Okay. We're going to see towards the end, Hamling and Fleety here are both battling it out. Fleety a bit out of shape going through turn 3. And Hamling has now is now up the back of Fleety 2. That has allowed him to get back up to where he wants to be within striking distance of Fleety. If he can just gain it two tenths more than he has now, he might be able to go for a move into paddock bend. So just 2 tenths more, and then maybe onto the last lap, they'll be able to go for a move here.
Yeah, I just can't see it being close enough, to be honest. But let's see how it all pans out. They are pretty spread out currently at the moment. We are looking at your closest battle on stream at the moment with Fleety and Hamling battling away nicely as we go 1:33 on the clock. The leader is just coming round now. This should technically be the final lap of the race. I don't believe there's going to be one more here this evening. So the final lap of this evening's racing here tonight with the TSRC PCUP Season 1 live from Brands Hatch with myself, James Parfitt, Daan Pepels, and of course the man on the cams, Kieran Sharp, in the background. So a big shout out to the unsung hero, should we say, of the evening, Dan.
Yeah, you never hear him, but without him, we wouldn't be able to be here, really, without the pictures that we are getting. But he is there, James. Millington is there, is within 0.8 of a second now, so he might well be able to go for a move. I think it might be actually Southfield struggling with tires, looking at how he's handling that car and how much time he's losing. It's also going to be very, very close compared to, judging by the fact that we got through at 1:26 on the clock last time round on the start-finish straight. So that means that Southfield, it's going to be closer. He might well have another lap to defend from Millington. I don't know, really. We're going to have to see. 20 seconds left, I think, after he gets through Sterling's. I don't know. It's going to be close. It's close enough. It's not close enough to go for a move on this lap. But if there's another lap, Millington might well have a chance here.
This is going to be close. 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's the situation going to be? It's going to be the checkered flag. God blimey. Southfield got the win from Millington in the checkered flag, and that lap could not have been any closer, really, Dan.
Well, I think Southfield himself was thinking, please let this be the checkered flag, because, well, you know, Millington is pretty fast behind me, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hold him back for another lap. He would have to defend for a whole lap. Also coming close to the checkered flag, this is Ryden Bruder who crossed the checkered flag basically almost at the same time. 210s between those two drivers. Very close also between Gonzalo and Graf. Who's going to get in between these? So this is for P10 and P11. And it is going to be Graf who's going to be last, taking the checkered flag. 13 drivers started this race, James. Only 11 of them coming across to take the checkered flag.
Yeah, your 11 are Jack Southfield, Josh Millington, Sir Smokey, Sam Fleety, Gollum Hamling, Martin Blankensteiner. Wright is in 7th, Bruder 8th, Sabo 9th, Hold at 10th, Graf 11th, Volodya down in 12th, and Wells is, of course, in 13th place there. And that is the final positions this evening at the end of race 2. An absolutely incredible race there as well, and a nice fine one. Unfortunately, though, Southfield did get out in front and he did kind of pull away, which led to everybody else kind of chasing the tails, really, Dan.
It did get close towards the end, though. Let's be honest here, James. When they were that close to taking a white flag for the next lap, you must have thought to yourself, well, I might be wrong here if they get another lap.
No.
Okay.
No. See, that's the thing, Dan. The admittance that you're wrong makes you guilty. So in our job, have you not learned that we don't say we're wrong? We just say, no, don't know what you mean. You missed it. Don't know who was watching. Prove it.
There we go. I'm sure if it was me, Phil in chat would find the moment and he would link it. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it's you, it's a different story. But, you know, you're not, superstar and all that, are you? You know, at the end of the day. To be fair, though, it's interesting when, like, you get messages and people are like, I'm sorry for messaging you. I'm like, you don't need to be sorry. You obviously want to speak to me, you know, at the end of the day. But
I'm not a VTO semi-nominee, so, you know.
Oh, no, you're not. You're right. I am.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, never mind. I suppose it's not your fault. It's not your fault, is it? Dan, sum up tonight's racing in one sentence for me, Dan. One sentence.
A difficult one for the drivers. There we go.
Well, there we go, guys. As well, that is brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. So thank you so much for everybody who has joined us here this evening. Phil across the pond, thank you again, as always, for coming in. And Chris Evans, not the Chris Evans, gutted. Very own Zach Sweeney and Rams Go Racing as well. Toxic Munchkin, I didn't see you there. Thank you so much. Callum Milam for coming into the booth all at the same time as spending some of your evening with us here as well. But that brings us to the end of this broadcast, guys. Much love as always, and from myself and Dan Pepels, you all take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.